The whole Ethereum community is finally coming together and is trying to tackle this whole interoperability problem in a more organized fashion.
In 2025, we will see a massive uptick in the adoption of smart accounts.
Welcome to CoinFund Bites, where we talk to our top portfolio companies, and I'm thrilled today to speak with one of my very favorites, Philipp Zentner, CEO and founder of Li.Fi.
Thank you so
Just
much for
Li.Fi.
having me, Chris.
Now, welcome. So how's your ETH Denver going?
Great. I come here every year because one of the biggest conferences. I know all the people I need to talk to are here. So you can go from hotel lobby to hotel lobby and side event to side event to get to talk to people, and it's always very productive. And we bring more and more people from our company every year.
Awesome. So you just purchased Catalyst. Can you tell us about that? What can you share?
So Li.Fi has always been a price comparison API across all bridges and DEX aggregators, right? But as we have been growing pretty fast, we have more and more clients with their own individual demands. Often these demands are around expansion. So when it comes to expansion, we have been very dependent on these third parties we aggregate. So if you are Kraken and you want us to implement Ink, which is the new chain, right? You ask us, when are we going to support that? And then we are relying on third parties. So we have to knock a bunch of doors. So with the acquisition of Catalyst, we have our own bridging solution, and we can expand more independently of third parties. And that's like the major thing. And also from an enterprise perspective, because most of our clients are enterprise, it's another layer of redundancy.
Yep.
So if anything breaks down, we still have solutions by ourselves where we have full control about and can fix things and whatsoever. So it comes in with multiple benefits.
So tell us about Li.Fi 2.0.
Li.Fi 2.0 is essentially a combination of multiple things. So first of all, it's the acquisition of Catalyst and the building of Pioneer. Pioneer would be our own solver system within Catalyst. So from a bridge architecture, Catalyst is an intent system. So essentially we're auctionizing any form of intent, and then someone has to solve for it. So we purchased Catalyst. We need to build our own solver system that's going to be called Pioneer. Another step here is a partnership with Glacis. Glacis is a multi-chain message aggregation solution, and they take care of aggregating multi-chain tokens. We know that all these messaging bridges like Layer 0, Axelar, Wormhole, also Circle, TCP, they all have their own multi-chain token standards. Layer 0 has OFTs, Axelar has ITS, Wormhole has entities, and so on. And we are stuck thin on resources, and we needed someone to aggregate that. And we have an exclusive partnership with Glacis to do that. So we're going to be the only venue where these tokens become accessible to the public. And that's a great technical mode as well. And another thing is that we are just the team has been growing quite a lot. We are almost 80 people now.
Wow.
And we are utilizing all the data we could collect over the past years to have a real machine learning or AI-based routing algorithm. It's like a graph traversal algorithm that's very data-driven. So also, in general, we can support thousands more routes, and it's a big step up in how we are positioned in the market.
Very, very, very cool. The way you're scaling is incredibly impressive. So what are you thinking about that no one's talking about here at the conference? What's on your mind?
Oh, no one talking at the conference? Very hard to say. I think almost everything is being discussed. The one topic which I want to raise awareness about is Ethereum is finally, the whole Ethereum community is finally coming together and is trying to tackle this whole interoperability problem in a more organized fashion. So the Ethereum Foundation is really investing into bringing the right folks together to discuss these things, to standardize things. And that's what I'm super happy about. And we're going to see more and more collective efforts towards unifying interoperability across L2s, L3s in the space. Obviously, for me, I'm seeing this a lot because I'm in that bubble.
Yeah.
I think most people in the space are not.
Yeah.
So this is something to talk about.
I think it's great for the ecosystem, great for the crypto industry,
Yes.
and everything else. How can people reach you?
People can reach us on Twitter or on X. Li.Fi protocol is our Twitter handle. Otherwise, just li.fi is the website. Find the docs there and feel free to reach out there. And via Telegram, we are available across all channels.
That's great. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us today. Again, my name is Chris Perkins, president of CoinFund, and you can reach me at PerkinsCR97. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Welcome everybody to an episode of CoinFund Bites. I'm Einar, I'm one of the partners here at CoinFund. With me today, we got Kurt from Rhinestone, one of our portfolio companies that is building in the wallet space. Kurt, maybe you want to do a quick introduction of yourself first?
Yeah, sure.
And then let's talk a little bit what's top of mind for you.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I'm Kat. I'm one of the co-founders at Rhinestone, and we're building in the smart account space. So everything account abstraction. We're specifically focused on modular smart accounts. And one of the things that we're diving deep in at the moment is chain abstraction.
Nice. So let's talk maybe a little bit about chain abstraction. I think we've seen there's a lot happening in the wallet space as a whole. Phantom just announced or recently-ish announced a massive round of funding. So curious, kind of what's the latest there? What's kind of top of mind for you?
Yeah, like on the Phantom piece, I think like what this demonstrates is that if you're a wallet player and you can capture attention and build a great product, then these applications of the wallet, the product is very sticky. And there are obviously many avenues to monetize, and you kind of control the order flow. So I think like Phantom's done a great job there, and it's a huge opportunity for them to kind of keep up that momentum. And Phantom was one of the early players when it comes to bridging the gap between different chains by offering a Solana-based wallet, and then obviously doing the EVM space as well. And then with chain abstraction, this is really about kind of taking this fragmented liquidity. So originally with the Phantom wallet, you had separate accounts and you had the bridge between these accounts and these chains. And with chain abstraction, this is all abstracted away from the user. And so for the user, they have one unified balance. They can spend these tokens instantly across any chain.
Sounds like exactly what you would want as a user. Where are we in sort of the adoption? We hear a lot about chain abstraction, but curious kind of where are we in the adoption phase of this? Like, is this commonly used already, or are we just in the beginning? Kind of where?
Yeah, like we're very early. Like we're definitely at the innovation stage. And in terms of adoption, there are a few wallets that are coming online and starting to use this tech stack. And I would say most players who are like specializing in chain abstraction are kind of not even at the stage where they're in production. So all of these things are still in like prototype and demo phase. And there are still like a few issues with getting to like full kind of chain abstracted world where you have a wallet and you can spend your balance on any chain, on any application. And so just as an example of this, when a wallet interacts with an application, the application speaks to an RPC to understand what the balance is of the wallet. And if this wallet has like a chain abstracted infrastructure embedded to unify these balances, the dApp can only initiate a transaction if it's aware that those balances are unified. And if it's speaking to an RPC that is not aware of this, then that's a problem. So we've been working with Wallet Connect to kind of reshape how dApps interact with wallets to know about this like chain abstracted balance and enable users to actually transact across chain seamlessly using this new stack.
Got it. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. Are there any challenges, or kind of, I guess there has to be a lot of challenges. Maybe what are the main challenges for account abstraction to kind of overcome now before sort of mainstream adoption?
Yeah, there are a few challenges. I think, as I mentioned earlier, wallets are super sticky. Users like wedded to their address, and when you're moving your private key around different wallets, that's like a thing that you should do with caution. And so the adoption of smart accounts has been slower than we at Rhinestone would have liked, and definitely slower than what people expected when ERC 4337 was coming online. But now with EIP 7702 coming with Pectra, there's a really easy migration path that's starting to arise, and so we are seeing traditional wallets starting to adopt smart accounts. And then the other thing I would add is we haven't had like this 10x improvement on EOAs. It's always been things that are kind of at the margin for an existing user. Like, oh, you don't have to manage your seed phrase anymore. It's like, oh, I've done that for years. It's kind of fine. Oh, you get gas abstraction. I've done that for years. It's kind of fine. I think with chain abstraction and a few other features that are being enabled through modules like session keys, we will start to see like a 10x improvement. And this will be enough of a catalyst for existing wallets to upgrade, or for users to seek out wallets that offer these new features. And so I do think in 2025, we will see a massive uptick in the adoption of smart accounts.
Amazing. Love to see that. Anything else that's on your mind or that you're spending your time on these days, or is it all chain abstraction?
It's a lot of chain abstraction, that's for sure. But I mean, there are so many different elements that you need to be on top of to think about, well, who are the clients we should be speaking to? What are the friction points? How can apps take most advantage of this? So I mentioned like the data read problem. There are some other like issues around EIP 7702 and how apps can actually interact with these features, because we do believe that most wallets will likely have very like secure controls over how a wallet can be upgraded to a smart account and what features are added to the account. So there are a bunch of things that like are kind of fringe concerns. But yeah, in terms of like the things that we're really focused on, it's like, let's get into prod. Let's find those lighthouse examples of applications that can showcase what can be done, and you go from there.
Very nice. How about security? Security is, I think on top of everybody's mind in crypto all the time,
Yes.
especially when it comes to wallets and multi-sigs and so forth. So curious kind of what, if any, security impacts this has. Does it improve security? Does it open up more attack vectors? Kind of how should we think about that?
Yeah, with smart accounts, like one of the major upsides you get is that there are just so many more levers to add different security measures to the account. And so obviously having like better, key management features just around the user not having to manage the seed phrase, and other options around like key rotation for recovery purposes, like these are all like security benefits. But I do think there are going to be like deeper features that start to get embedded into the user's account to add more like, just like security. And so, as an example, like, should you have trusted cosigners on the account that can simulate transactions and make sure that they, I don't know, adhere with the permissions that you've given to another entity, or adhere with, some kind of security guideline or whatever it might be. So that might be like blockade, integrating into the account via a cosigner rather than just integrating into the front end or something that you traditionally see today.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a whole lot of sense. And adding like these security modules is one thing. And then also, as you said, like the added security of shared modules where you actually get a lot of eyes on the same code, right? Which
Exactly.
is really helpful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Rhinestone?
Yeah, sure. So we're obviously on X. It's at Rhinestone WTF. And our website's rhinestone.wtf.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.